Hey, what's up? It's Tony here at Collecticon Studios, and today we are doing Terrific Teams, and today we'll be talking about the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers. There we are. A quick shot of some of the guys that I have in my collection that make up my Avengers display. Quick backstory. Terrific Teams was developed by my brother, Dylan757, on his channel. Saw that, told him we wanted to do Collecticon tour review. He said, yay, put it together, and here we are today. So I'm just carrying on the tradition. He will be joining me in later episodes, and we'll be talking about our favorite teams in the Marvel Universe. First up, the Avengers. I don't know if we're going in alphabetical order, but we are starting with the A's today. What makes me like the Avengers? Well, quite simply, it was an opportunity for me when I was a kid, and I'd get like $3, on the weekend. Seriously, $3 on the weekend to go to the local flea market or wherever in the neighborhood and buy comics, candy. I normally chose comics. And the Avengers always appealed to me because, well, you could get a whole bunch of superheroes in one comic book for $1. So who wouldn't want to see Spider-Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, the Vision, Namor, Thor, or Iron Man for $1? I know I did. I know my dad was happy that I was happy because he only gave me a few dollars. It was a win-win for everybody. So here I am today, a lot older, and I am still doing that. I want to get a comic. I'm not a heavy comic book reader, or buyer, should I say. I do a lot of reading, but normally my reading comes in the form of encyclopedias or some of the origins books or handbooks. That's how I catch up on my heroes. And Dylan757 does the same. But when I do buy a comic or I do run with a series, I know, like the Civil War series, for instance, a lot of heroes, a lot of bang for your buck, so that's what I'll get. And with the Avengers storyline, you always get that. So, just to give you guys a quick just fill you in a little bit, what you see here is our approach to displaying the Avengers, and Dylan does the same thing, is if you have served as an Avenger, a listed member, you can be immortalized in our detail cabinets or on our shelves as an Avenger in some displays. So that's what you see here. It's pretty much most of my Avengers that I display together as a team unit. Now there's other members. I have some, a few more people, but as it stands right now, these are the guys that I display in my detail that maybe I'll show you guys. We all get lucky what I truly have, which is funny, because everybody's like, you need to do a collection video. Show us what you got. And I'm like, I want to, but I'm saving up for something special. You guys will find out, hopefully, if you're watching, a lot later. But getting back to the Avengers, I just wanted to put them here in this, setup where I had entered this thing in the Hooliganism 1982's contest. And it was the Fall of Asgard entry. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. And I just did something, for that. Kind of built this thing. And there was some more to it. There was a courtyard and all that. And the Avengers actually, along with the Justice League, were major stars in that entry. So when I say that the Avengers are a very important team in the Marvel Universe, and to me on a personal level, I am telling you the truth. One of the things that always interests me as well is the fact that there were different incarnations. I mean, from the past, where you would see stuff like the Avengers, where they had the West Coast Avengers, and you had an Eastern-based group that were, in New York, and like Namor and Tony, which Tony later was in the West Coast Avengers as well. He has villas and property all over the place, and he could travel. But they split them up into two geographic locales, so that the Pacific group on the West Coast could respond to things, on the Pacific coast of the United States and abroad, and vice versa with their Atlantic-based counterparts. So that was always interesting to me, that they were a very organized group, and that's what, you could find out that in the Marvel Encyclopedia right there. I missed out right there. And then now we fast forward to 2010, where you have the Secret Avengers, and this is the man that's behind that, Mr. Steve Rogers, which I love the whole thing that they're doing with him, where they're kind of dropping the outfit and getting more into Steve Rogers as a character than actually the mask of Captain America. Even though I love Captain America, and there's a sentimental attachment to him for many reasons, I do like what they're doing with him. They're giving him more of a G.I. Joe covert ops feel, and I know that's probably going to be temporary. I'm hoping that's temporary. I don't know that for sure, but at the same time, if it's not, you could always put a super soldier or someone like that in Captain America, garb, which they are doing, but there's only one Steve Rogers with his problems and his outlook and his resolve, and that I appreciate. I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. So, the interesting developments with that character. Another character that doesn't get enough notoriety, I feel, and it wasn't, and I'll be honest, it wasn't until I saw the Avengers cartoon that Marvel put out, where the Black Panther resonated as a heavy hitter for me. And I'm sure there's some of you out there that are heavy readers of Black Panther, or know a lot more about the character than I did at that time, would say, are you crazy, you out of your mind? But, don't get me wrong, I have a heavy appreciation for that character now. And he's, basically, I'd like to say the African version of Batman, but in some ways better. Same thing with the Moon Knight. I have a newfound appreciation with him as a character. A lot behind that guy. I've got some questions about him. I'm going to probably post them here soon. I'm just going to do something, maybe a little expose on him by himself, and ask you guys some questions and kind of leave an open forum, because, he's mystical, but yet he uses technologies. He's like Batman mixed with tiny elements of Doctor Strange. But there's a lot to this guy that just makes me scratch my head. Those are also, since we're there, Doctor Strange, the Scarlet Witch, highly underrated. Very popular characters. Doctor Strange, a member of the Illuminati, moving the pieces of the universe or the universal puzzle around and manipulating things and keeping things in order. Still, I feel is highly underrated, and I always thought, that's why I made that custom, that he was a very neat-looking character in terms of his paint apps and the way he was, drawn in the early comics. I've never seen, me personally, a horrible drawing of that character. It looked like whoever drew Doctor Strange always made sure they put their best pencil on the paper, so to speak. And then we come to Firestar, which she interests me because I always associated her with Spider-Man and his amazing friends. And now I realize that she's been an Avenger, and I think currently on the roster, I'm not sure, or like a reserve member. But the fact that I'm kind of delving into that, area and finding out about what she meant to the Avengers kind of piques my interest and keeps this team overall new for me. So that's what I like about the Avengers. They're ever evolving. They're forever changing their roster. Some things stay the same. Some things become different, or they change. But they're always an interesting team, and they're always the cornerstone, I feel, of the Marvel Universe as a whole. So I think we as collectors, as comic enthusiasts, will definitely be seeing a whole lot of this team. And the idea, not necessarily a particular group pictured together holding hands, but the idea of the Avengers for quite some time, and we will enjoy that. And who knows, maybe one of us one day will be writing for the Avengers or something like that. So then we can throw our 2 cents in and keep it, moving in a positive direction, hopefully. So until next time, keep collecting.